Hello and welcome to Nick V Uncensored. Today we've got Michael Jaco, former CIA and Navy SEAL, and today we're going to both be talking about random deaths that are happening around the world, coincidences, collapses of the system, people going back to sleep, and people really, really connecting within. There's definitely a polarity here of two holograms, two Earths. They have been split. We're going to dive into them deeply, but we're very looking forward to the permanent split. But Michael, thank you so much for joining me. How are you, and what have you been up to?
Thanks for having me back on, Nicholas. Yep, so everything's going great. I'm, enjoying the snow. We had like multiple feet of snowfall here in Lake Tahoe. It's been beautiful. A little bit of shoveling, but other than that, we enjoy the snow, so we're having fun.
It looks beautiful. You look like you've got numerous Christmas trees behind you.
I know, right?
And it looks really cool. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, I was just telling you, Michael, before we hit the record button about Anthony Joshua, a very, athletic, very built black boxer who fought Jake Paul, who Jake Paul lost. And he had his jaw broken and had to have surgery on his jaw. And Anthony Joshua went to Nigeria, and his two friends, they had a car accident, and his two friends had their heads removed off their bodies. And Anthony Joshua was he's crying and he was, grieving, and it was just a terrible experience for him, probably going to affect him for the rest of his life. But then you mentioned, what a coincidence, you say, Donald Trump just bombed Nigeria on the 25th of December because they were killing Christians. But who was killing Christians?
It's Muslim extremists. I think maybe, I don't know, because I haven't really delved into it deep enough. But I know that the Chinese are very strong throughout Africa, for the mineral right. They want the minerals, they want the oil. Nigeria has some of is one of the biggest places where they pump oil. So I know a lot of people, the United States, they're going after Venezuela, Nigeria, the biggest, exporter of oil in Africa. They're killing Christians. They're trying to take over because the Muslim population, once they take over a place, they're very pliable, if you will. They can do whatever they want, pretty much. I've seen this, after being, almost, I'd say 25 of my 35 years into SEAL teams and in the CIA. I spent a lot of time in the Middle East, and they're, a little bit lower consciousness as far as, the rest of the world. I wouldn't say like very, very low conscious, but they're not as educated as the rest of the world in the way the Muslim religion basically directs everybody. They're very pliable, not very analytical. They don't think for themselves as much, and so that's probably what they're doing. They're coming in to take over, insert a certain population within. We're seeing that in Europe. We're seeing that in America. With illegal immigration and forcing Muslims into these countries because they're more pliable. Like I said, I've seen it, for most of my life, having been over in those cities, those areas. So very, very strange that we have, this boxer, Anthony Joshua, that goes over there right after he does this fight. President Trump does a strike in Nigeria, where Joshua goes, and the name Anthony Joshua, biblical. So, and then he has, two friends with their heads cut off, in the accident. It's like some kind of simulation. We talked about earlier. Was it real? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever, any of it. And you put it all together, it's like, is this some kind of ceremony they're doing here, some sacrifice ceremony, or what is going on with that? It's really crazy.
Absolutely. I mean, from the illusion and from the media's perspective, there are, the Muslims that you mentioned that are low consciousness, which which basically means that they're very conditioned, very brainwashed.
Right.
They've probably got generational trauma as well. Um, and I think everything behind the Muslims, like right at the top of the control grid, I believe it's within the simulation. I believe it's the Israelis. They are at the very top. They are doing. I think it's an Israeli agenda. What do you think about that? Because they want us to believe, well, Israelis are doing this, but the Muslims are doing that. Well, I prefer the Muslims. Well, I prefer the Israelis. I actually think that's part of the division. I actually think that all of this is divide and conquer so that we do that. But beyond it all, it's Israelis. And if you want to go further, it's the Draco reptilians. They appear to the Israelis as angels in their dreams or satanic rituals. And they believe that they are serving God. They genuinely believe they are serving God, but they're so brainwashed that they think that God will tell them to kill people and to take over this and to do that. But they're serving darkness. And I don't even believe in the devil. I think that that's just a matrix fiction archetype. But the truth is that it's the Draco reptilians, it's consciousness that the Draco reptilians have inherited, that's disconnected from source awareness. And it's the inversion of what love is and compassion and truth and alignment. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's really good. And, there's all kind of misinformation, misdirection with the devil. Now, Lucifer, I do believe that he was a, cast out angel. And I think the Draco basically worship that aspect. And of course, we worship I would say worship. We, focus on an aspect that's of the light, that's good, high morals and so forth. But they're compromised, like kind of like what we're talking about with the, certain individuals throughout the world that seem to be compromised. And, as we move forward, we're exposing a lot of that, but there's still going to be manipulation going forward. Collapsing the old system, the economic system, collapsing the old, religious systems, collapsing the political systems. Israel is basically a Zionist, country. I've had many conversations, not many, but I've had several conversations with David Icke about this on shows before. He's talked about the Draco. He's talked about the Zionist in Israel and so forth. They're basically inserted there. There's the way the religious, Israel flag and, how everybody needs to focus on Israel because they're, the seat of all three religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. So they're saying that everybody needs to focus on, Israel because they're the peak of, everybody else. This is all control. And that's some of the things they're trying to do. So the Zionists, which are not, I think, Jewish, they're basically a control system that's developed by these families that are descendants of the Draco reptilians, the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and other, families that are out there. I think they're all, hybrids of the reptilians. So this is something that we have to be aware of and how they manipulate things. And they do these little ceremonies like we just saw with, Joshua, I think, crazy stuff. It makes no sense whatsoever until you start to look at a bigger picture of what they're trying to do, what they're trying to manipulate. So a negative to probably, as I'm starting to look at it and starting to reflect on it just in the last, few minutes we've been talking, is probably with him going there after, that fight. They're trying to diss, the Christians by doing something like this. So I don't know. I don't know what, we'd have to look at Anthony Joshua's, background, what his religious affiliation is and, why is he going to Nigeria? Does he have relatives in Nigeria? Is it a random type thing where he goes there? So this is what, the critical thinkers out there like us are going to start to look at that and go, what is this relationship? And from that, we'll probably discover a lot of other things. So it's great to like bring this stuff up. Of course, we go deep down the rabbit holes with talking about, the Dracos and, their control system that basically is being collapsed here on Earth,
Mm.
and the pushback we're going to get from them as we continue that.
Absolutely. We were talking as well, and your partner, she mentioned that there are people that are falling back into fear, and they're falling back into the control system, and then there is people that are a group of people that are awakening. Or they're looking within, and they're just really more aligned and connecting with themselves, and they can see through the crap. And I can see two groups here. And when people used to say, "Oh, the end of the world is 2012," if you remember that, I believe that the end of the organic hologram ended, and we transitioned into a temporary field hologram simulation where this hologram is everything is being exposed so that souls can decide which path they want to choose, not for judgment, but for resonance. And I think this is where the split, when people say there's two earths split, I think at the end of the temporary field simulation, there will be a permanent split eventually. And I think the reason for the digital ID, for mapping your frequency and tethering you to the AI system, is so that they could tether you on the synthetic timeline, the synthetic Draco field, because that's what they want. They want to buy surrender your freedom so that you can't have the choice to reincarnate. They just loop you back into the simulation so that they could completely forever harvest energy loosh from your soul. Whereas now we have the false light trap, and they have to encourage us. They have to manipulate us to come back. Whereas that won't be an option if we go to the synthetic, and it will be down to resonance, not judgment. And it won't be down to believing. It will be down to awakening. What do you think about that?
Brilliant. I think, we're definitely moving into a split. And with that split, like you're saying, they're trying to tether as many souls as possible to loose them into the system that's going to be the Draco, right? The negative side. Unfortunately, a lot of people believe in this negative side. We see that. We're seeing a lot of things are being revealed. Here in United States, we have, Minnesota, we have massive fraud that's being exposed with the Somali population that's been brought in over a long period of time. I've been to Somalia. I've been in that area. It's extremely corrupt. There is a pirate culture. They go out and they raid ships that go by, and they have to be, you have to have people on those ships. A lot of ships that go up and down that area. They have security that are well trained to fire upon the Somali pirates as they come in and try and seize the ships. It's crazy. And we've had SEAL Team 6 guys. My old compadres went out and shot some Somali pirates that were on a boat that had a captain of the ship. So all kinds of crazy stuff that's going on with Somalia that's being exposed with the Trump administration. And when Trump first came into office in early February, he did a strike in Somalia and took out ISIS Somali, pirates, I will call them, terrorists, instigators, in a cave system, just like Osama bin Laden, caves in Afghanistan. So there's a huge movement to basically break free from, at least to a great extent, this control system that's, like you say, is trying to capture as many people as possible for the split. So the good split, the positive, renaissance in consciousness, I like to call it, is going to be phenomenal for those of us that make that split, that have the critical thinking, that have that love and compassion and so forth energies that doesn't exist in the other reality. I've seen people that have talked to, high level beings like Jesus, and he's told them about how this is coming, this split you talk about. And so multiple people have talked about this. And more recently, because like you said, back in 2012, there was talk of that happening, but it didn't go in the direction of a negative. It was forestalled. So I think we're at that point where it definitely will have a split, but it won't be everybody going to the negative side. It will be a negative and a positive, like you say. So who's going in that direction? I think it's very easy to see that the people that don't live in fear, the people that aren't asleep, like we talk about. It seems so many people are asleep, don't understand any of the things that we're talking about, and would dismiss it and criticize it. So they don't have that critical thinking to take them into these zones of consciousness, so that we can make the shift in a positive way. So great that there are some of us having this conversation to help people, move in that direction.
Absolutely. I feel that there are a lot of people that as well. There are many people who are asleep, absolutely, but there are some people, I think, that they don't know how to express what they feel in words, in language, but they can feel something is wrong from their soul, but they're so dormant that they just get a glimpse of that feeling. What do you think about that?
Yeah, there is that. So with that, you start to look at, does it make them angry? So that's not good. Does it make them want to break free from that and go to the good lighted side, I guess you could say, the love frequency and so forth, and they feel they're kind of stuck in that. I would say the ones that are leaning more towards compassion and the love and so forth will probably break free when that shift happens. And those that are just angry that there's this control system going on, and they're just frustrated and disgusted with it, instead of looking at it critically and so forth, they just dismiss it and just stay angry. So they're going to probably go to that angry
Yeah.
control system side. And of course, we know the people that enjoy that. They want everything taken care of. They want everything just right, and those people are going to get that. They're going to get what they want. And so I'm not critical of those people. It's just a process. Who knows? Maybe they'll spend 1,000 years in this control system and want to break free, and they will. So I don't know. But I do know, like you're talking about, we're going to make a break, and it is coming, and I believe it's coming next year. So this coming 2026, right?
Hmm.
And so we've had Three Eye Atlas, coming in. I think they're helping with this process. Uh, I've seen, the beings on that. I call it a ship. It's a ship to me. And these beings are very positive. They've sent craft to different planetary sources within our solar system, because there's lots of things have been, left here to see the level of consciousness raising that's been happening on all the different planetary systems that we have in our solar system. Of course, Earth is one of I think there's so many galactic beings that are out there that are in a dimension that we can't see in with our eyes, but they're out there, watching, because this is a very critical time in history. And once the shift happens, it's going to be very positive for the rest of the galaxy.
Hmm.
So, incredible, occurrences that are happening right now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's interesting. I hear about Three Eye Atlas that it's a crystalline body from my sources, and that it's not going to reach Earth, but it's going to pass Earth to broadcast a frequency signal
Mhm.
that will help awaken dormant souls to pre-prepare them for the permanent split, so that we don't lose a many souls to the Draco system, giving them eternal loosh.
Yep.
Um, and the digital ID is going to be their last attempt to tether souls into the synthetic grid. But how do we know? How do we know we're on the organic timeline? And my understanding of it is that if you are on the organic timeline, we're going to experience the collapse of the system. Politics will feel like background noise. We'll experience many deaths because the Matrix has to play a storyline where people are dying. Basically, souls are exiting, early. They will be forming a storyline in a death, in a car crash, or they might be moving very far away, but basically moving away from our field perception. Basically, we won't be able to interact with them within our hologram. They'll just be vanishing away. And I want to go into the banking system and the control system of government because it's collapsing. Everything feels scripted. Everything feels fake. And you just eventually feel disinterested into what's going on. You're more into the hologram, the split, and financial sovereignty because we want to be free. We're looking at silver; it's $83. It's going up. The systems are collapsing. This is a chance for people not to become rich in an egoistic, greedy way, but to become financially sovereign and free from the control system, so that we can be free. And I think ultimately that's what that's the goal. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. And, a lot of us, benefited from crypto, in its move up. Uh, Hopefully some people took advantage of that because you don't realize the monetary benefits of that unless you pull it out. So that's what I've been doing for with crypto for quite some time. It's helped me financially quite substantially. But silver has been something I've been talking about for several years. I started investing in silver, if you will, when I was a little boy, 10 or 11 years old. So I've got, 50 years worth of, investing in silver and, selling silver and getting back into silver. So silver has made me completely financially independent beyond my wildest dreams. And I think that's going to be, much more going forward. Pullbacks here and there. I think we might be seeing a pretty good pullback today. I talked about this yesterday in one of my shows, but it is a buying opportunity because we're going to see banks fail because they have big short positions, and that'll drive down the market as their assets are basically liquidated, and they have massive short positions. So when all their assets are liquidated, it's going to drive down the price. So we may see multiple pullbacks as we move higher with silver. But those people that have had, the intuition and so forth to invest in it, it's going to, help them quite a bit. Regardless, we're seeing a collapse of the financial system, whether you've been involved in, because some people, I've been in that position myself on occasions where you're just existing, surviving pretty much. There's a lot of people out there like that. But it's always the consciousness that you have that pulls you out of that. So even though I was in low levels of financial security, no security really. So I always had the mindset that something better is coming, and I'm going to learn from this. And I always have reached higher levels financially. So I encourage everybody that maybe is whatever is happening within their systems, whether it's political, whether it's, financial, military actions may be coming. Don't get so wrapped up in it. Stay positive. Look for the best in everything. That's the way I've always been. Always leave a place better than it was before you came. That's another great way to look at stuff. It's just a mentality. And it always pulls you through tough times. So we're all going through tough times, but it doesn't have to be tough for you. You can be an observer of the tough times and be benefiting from them if you've set yourself up correctly. And we've talked about that on our shows quite a bit, how people can benefit going forward. And I know you have promoted a lot of different things that have been I think have been extremely beneficial for a lot of people. So that's another great aspect of these shows that you, I, and several other of us that are in this truth movement do. So it's a fantastic time, regardless of what's happening with the collapse. The great mental and consciousness shift and spiritual enlightenment that's coming for a lot of us. We're, frustrated, and we speak our frustration, of course, with these systems, but we're not attached to it. We're observing it, and we're trying to help other people, break free from it.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. Definitely. I couldn't agree more. And I want to say that if anybody wants to buy, silver or gold, I want to leave a link below in the description to Matt Geiger. And Michael, I don't know if you work with Matt Geiger also, if you're aware of him.
No, I got a guy, Kirk Elliott, that I've been working with for several years, and we've had a fantastic relationship, and it's gone really
That's
well.
great. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
good
great.
people. I'm glad you're connected with a great one and helping people. That's there's not a lot of good people out there. There's a lot of shysters out there. So uh, that's great that you're providing someone that can help people within your audience. Very fantastic.
Absolutely. And I feel like we're still early with the silver. It's 83,
Oh
dollars.
yes.
And well, what's your prediction? Because I think it's going up like $10 a week. And I know I'm not saying it's going to continue that way. I'm sure there's going to be a pause or there might be a little drawback, but I think we're going to see, as we, see the rest of 26, I think we're going to see over $100. What do you think about that?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well over $100. I see probably in the first quarter. Depending on what happens, they could collapse the market to basically because a lot of these banks have short positions. The Federal Reserve, is pumping money at these banks and trying to keep them solvent. But we may see a pullback. I think we will see a pullback at some point, probably in the first quarter is my best guess with the stock market. Pretty substantial pullback. I don't know if it's going to go in the first quarter all the way down to my predictions, which are 80 to 90% correction in the stock market, which will last, unfortunately, for a long time. But that's a system that's completely needs to be, revamped.
Mm.
And I think that's part of what we're going to see going forward. But I see probably 115, maybe 25 in maybe January, but definitely the first quarter. And then 250 by mid-year, 500 by the end of the year, and we're going to hit 1,200 per ounce in the second year, and then we're in the beginning stages of this.
Wow.
So we
Yeah.
may see a 2-to-1 relationship with silver and gold at some point. Further down the road, I think 3, 4, 5, maybe as many as 8 years, there's still going to be opportunities. So you could sell, a portion of your silver holdings and, do really well, pay off bills, buy a house with cash, and so forth, or buy multiple real estate properties, because the real estate industry or properties will collapse as well. And they're already in the collapse mode. Many of them across the U.S. have dropped 20% or more already. I see them dropping as well, 80%. So that will be an opportunity. Your silver holdings are going up and properties are going down. Incredible opportunity to buy some of those. Crypto will probably go down quite substantially. Another opportunity to buy those. Stocks will go down substantially. Pick the winners that will be going forward. And who knows how that looks like in the new, the new world we're going to.
Hmm.
I think it's going to be phenomenal. I think everybody's going to be successful. I don't think there will be anyone that is not, like what we look at now, millionaires. Everybody will be millionaires. There will be some that don't, choose to. Maybe they want to do studies and so forth, but they'll still be financially very, very comfortable. There will
Yeah.
be no problems going forward financially. There were no problems going forward with health, with med beds and so forth. Free energy systems, levitations, all kinds of amazing things are coming.
Absolutely. Yeah. You're definitely. Michael, thank you very much for joining me today. It's been an absolute honor, like always, and really good conversation. Is there anything else that you'd like to say to the viewers before we finish?
Yeah, I like you have transformed incredibly. We've done shows for years, and the conversations we have now it's exceptional. So, kudos to you, kudos to your audience that's paying attention and watching. I'm glad you're back on YouTube, so that's going to get you more of an audience. But people, if they want to, can reach me at michaelkjaco.com. And thank you to everyone, and looking forward to the new Earth.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Michael, and Happy New Year to you and to your family and to everyone. And we'll speak again very soon. You take care. Bye-bye.
Happy New Year. Thank you.